What's good, family? Your man the YB got to say a big shout out to the Romanian mafiosi boss man, Catalin, coming through with a record donation, record sponsorship right now. Salute General 100%. So, we got some breaking news right now regarding your man's Tyson. Fury now. I ain't gonna lie to no one. It is a bit of a speculative one. Little things I've been hearing from people inside the camp. Now, what has your man the YB been hearing inside the camp? Well, two twos. We know the AJ and Fury fight is allegedly done. However, I'm hearing whisperings that the Fury side of things potentially, something's a little bit not quite with it, if you get what I'm saying. Now, I'm not sure what that means. Is it a case of things just take time? Could be the case. All I'm saying is, for example, from a public point of view, Fury, we know for a fact Fury, was on AJ's neck, doing the most woofing. You can see here his Twitter page, September 6th, woof, 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 woof. I mean, he was going the hardest in the paint, for a good week or so, putting it on AJ. Two twos. He set a deadline, 24-hour deadline. AJ, to his credit, comes back within that deadline, and at which point, as outsiders, as fans, all we can logically conclude, the fight must be done then. At which point, since then, we ain't heard squat. Now, Eddie Hearn and, you could say, I guess, Fury haters, before AJ accepted the deal, was speculating, Fury's only doing this, Fury's only sending offers out, knowing Team AJ won't accept, so they can bait and switch and bring in a random dude like Manuel Char. Now, I bring up Manuel Char because I've got to be honest, literally at the same time Fury was posting these AJ messages out on Instagram, he put several Instagram stories out. In fact, I should even really be able to find it here, maybe. If I type in Char, I'm pretty sure I downloaded it myself. Either way, the point is, it's not there. Anyway, the point is, Fury, take my word for it, Fury, at the same time he was putting these messages out, airing out AJ, he kept randomly throwing in Manuel Char videos. I'd say there's about 3 or 4. At the same week, this same September 8th week. As he was taunting AJ, he kept posting Manuel Char in a similar fashion. Manuel Char was making videos saying, I'm going to knock Tyson Fury out. So that in itself was odd. Because if Fury's putting it on AJ 100% officially, why you keep reposting Char? Yeah? And like I said, fair enough. I just find it odd, not to mention the thing I've been hearing. I find it odd that since September 8th, Fury, we ain't seen nothing. We saw a few royal family sucker off messages. Yeah, Fury did a little bit of arse licking. A little bit of the establishment arse licking. Listen, at the end of the day, Tyson Fury wanted to make sure the establishment's arse crack was clean. So he made sure he did that. Yeah, put a few posts out there. What's that? What's that? It's nice and 100%. What's that establishment? You arse need cleaning. Yeah, he cleaned it up 100%. Yeah, but apart from that, nothing. September 8th, nothing. Now, on that note about the establishment thing, it's possible Fury is observing some sort of Cabal ritual. Yeah? Is it possible Tyson Fury, he keyed up with the Cabal right now and they've told him, listen, we must observe our leader's thing. You know what I mean? You just don't know, do you? Yeah, because let's not forget, it will be interesting to see. Apparently the time of mourning ends on Monday. So, if Tyson Fury comes in hot on Tuesday, back on it, we'll know that it's not Tyson Fury having cold feet, it's that Tyson Fury was obliging some Cabal ritual. Yeah? Some 10-day Cabal silence ritual. Yeah? Paying homage to the leader. The key Cabal cat, this one here. Yeah? So, it's one or the other. Or it could be neither. It could be randomly. Listen, I've been following, naturally. I follow Tyson Fury. I know him more than anyone else I know in my life. Yeah? And his personality, he don't never not post. Yeah? I'd say an average is 5 to 10 Instagram posts, Instagram stories per day is the average. And you'd think, with such a big fight like the AJ fight, which is actually relatively soon, 2.5 months away, I just think the fall-off's odd, innit? How do you fall off so quick? And when you add it, or when you start hearing different things, the whole question is, some people are saying, close to the situation, that we're going to hear some problem any second now. We're going to hear some problem. You know what I mean? One of them ones. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing from the Fury side, there's going to be some problem. Not necessarily from the Fury side. All I'm saying is, there's going to be some issue that can't be resolved. That's what I'm hearing coming up real quick. And to some extent, I almost feel as if Team Fury got caught offside. Because when AJ said he accepted it, I am not sure they was expecting AJ to accept it. Although then again, to be fair to Team Fury, if Team Fury didn't want AJ to accept the deal, why would you offer him 40%? Innit? So in a way, that shoots that argument down. If Team Fury was bluffing, they'd have come out and said 10%, which, by the way, would be well within Fury's right. I was one of the key people saying, AJ should be grateful for 10 to 20%. So if Fury was really just pure bluffing, he could have come out and said, yep, December 17th, 10%. So to be on that basis, it's unlikely to be a bluff. Although, we do also know Fury is bipolar. Yeah. I would not be surprised to find out Tyson Fury now has got cold feet about giving AJ 40%. It's a bit like when he said, I'll fight you for free. Do you know what I mean? Fury says things sometimes, and then probably on reflection thinks, why am I paying a guy with no belts, has been topped by a little heart middleweight? Why am I going to pay him 40%? Wilder got paid 40%. And he was, do you know what I'm saying? He was only been beat once. He was still, you know what I mean? He was still certified. Only lost one fight. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit one of them ones. But yeah, listen. Only time will tell. Monday will be the key date. If we don't hear nothing from Fury by Tuesday, we know it's not him observing the 10-day mourning. And potentially, I mean, again, if you've been following Tyson Fury, you know he bangs social media. Bangs it hard. So where are he gone? Again, it's been a few days. Actually, it's been since this event. It's been since the Queen popped her clogs. He ain't post no stories out. So most likely, that is what it is. But if it's not that, essentially the question is, why is Tyson Fury fell off? Because we want to see him pressing AJ. Then again, maybe there's nothing left to be said. The fight's done. The fight's locked in. Oh, but that's a fact. That's a point, rather. One more thing I want to bring into the fray. I found it quite interesting. Betfair actually opened up a market for, does the fight continue, or does the AJ and Fury fight actually happen? Now, I was confused at the time. I saw it and it was like, it was plus 100. So you put 100 quid on, you get 100 quid back. Or 200 quid, or net, in total, you put 100 quid on, in total, you get 200 back, so you basically double your money if you're right. And that's what it was saying. It was saying 50-50 odds for the Fury versus AJ fight to happen. I thought, boom, I'm all over that. Put about 100 Skrilla in, betting that the fight will happen. But then after I did that, I thought, wait a minute, why are these cats? Because at that point in time, before I made the bet, I thought the fight's on. Do you know what I'm saying? But then, after putting the bet on, a few hours later, I sat there thinking, wait a minute, why are they questioning whether the fight's happening? Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. Because in my mind, it was done. So why is Betfair? I mean, Betfair, that's what they do. Betfair makes markets, but I'm just saying. That tells me that clearly, I mean, if it's 50-50, if the odds makers are saying it's 50-50, that tells me half of the world thinks the fight ain't happening. Where does that come from? Innit? Where does half of the world not thinking the fight happens comes from? That tells me things aren't as locked in as most assume they are. Now, I think the fight does happen. Just based on Fury, or the two factors that make me think it does happen is the fact that, number one, AJ is grabbed his ankles. The fact AJ is grabbing his ankles tells me I can't see how it's not. Listen, we know for a fact there's two parties involved right now. Team AJ and Team Fury. We know it's not going to be Team AJ who makes his flop. They've made it quite clear. We're grabbing our ankles. Yeah, we're grabbing our ankles and getting popped from the back by Team Fury. They've made that clear. So we can take that. That's the one half out of the equation. Now, the more random half is obviously Team Fury. But like I said, the fact they offered 40% tells me they ain't messing. Because if you wanted to mess, you could have been a lot more prudent than 40%. So, when you sit there and think about it and try and work it all out, AJ's team, on point. Fury's team, more messy, to some extent. But I don't really see how things can go too far awry at this point. But, the last factor, the kind of magical factor, which is what I was going to mention before I lost my thought, was the fact that, is the big card they're going to pull out to do with the networks? Because even though I've said to you, oh well, Team Fury wouldn't say 40% if they were planning on playing around, they might do that if they know down the line BT and DAZN are going to have an issue. Do you get what I'm saying? For example, if Fury says 40%, he may have said that knowing, yeah, we'll tell him, we'll make it viable, we'll make it believable. For example, Fury's telling AJ 5%, everyone knows that's a fake offer. You know AJ ain't going to take 5%. You know AJ ain't going to take 10%. So that wouldn't even have legs. What would have legs? Oh, AJ, I want you badly. Yeah, can't stop thinking about you. Got a proper hard on for you. Take 40%. Everyone buys in. Oh yeah, Fury's desperate to have a go on AJ. He's offered him 40%. 2-2s, they know AJ and DAZN and BT are going to clash. If there's going to be one thing, yeah, in my opinion, it's going to be the BT. Because that's an easy thing to say. That way, neither team's to blame, innit? That's an easy one. When you complain about dates and venues and pay, you can put the pressure. You can say, Tyson Fury, you've ducked. AJ, you've ducked. But when you sit back and, BT and DAZN couldn't come to terms, do you know no one's there? And I've seen a few things in the last few days. Eddie Hearn, yeah, it's 90% done. We've just got to have BT and DAZN sit down. Just got to have BT and DAZN sit down. That sounds a lot more than just gotta to me. Do you get what I'm saying? Especially when you've got AJ with some next lifetime deal with DAZN and you got Fury locked in with BT. Do these guys really want to share the revenue? If I'm BT and I've got Fury, yeah, I'm thinking, wait a minute, who's AJ to me? No one. Why am I going to share this big massive pot? And I guess ultimately though, in the day, half of nothing is nothing. So if logical brains prevail, DAZN and BT will work together. Because if the fight don't happen, they both make nothing. So it's much better to make half of 100 million each than it is to make squat by throwing your toys at the pram. So yeah, in all fairness, I've probably debunked half of the things I'm saying. End of the day, man, time will tell. As always, time will tell. What we know is, if there's a way for Betfair to bump your man the YB's coins, yeah, your man the YB got coins, got $100 on this fight happening. So you best believe the fight ain't gonna happen. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. That's the only reason I'm sitting here now a bit, my ass twitching. I'm thinking, wait a minute. If I've bet on this fight to go ahead, it's gonna be one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's what really got me thinking. Why is Betfair giving me 2-1 or why is Betfair allowing me to double my money on this fight actually going ahead when everyone says it's done deal? That's the only thing I got. Maybe Betfair are fixing to hand some free coins out. I'm just skeptical because that honestly, I'm quite experienced at Betfair, yeah, and most fights, in fact, I've bet probably on the last year, I've bet on probably 50 fights, yeah, and for all of them fights, so far, I've never seen there be a market. I've never seen them make an option of, does the fight go ahead or not? Do you get what I'm saying? So, for example, Clarissa Shields versus Marshall last week. I've been betting on that for about 5 weeks. Collating and adding my bets together over the last few weeks. There wasn't an option that said 4 weeks ago, does the Shields versus Marshall fight go ahead? No, the date was done, it's on. Now, in all fairness, AJ and Fury isn't fully on yet, is it? But still, it could be the case that this is just a massive fight, and therefore there's more speculation, and there's more. I mean, for a smaller fight, people wouldn't be interested potentially on betting if it happens or not. So maybe I'm being too conspiratorial, man. But anyway, man, listen, it'll be what it'll be. Let me know your thoughts. Has Tyson Fury got twitchy feet? Has Tyson Fury fell off? Is Tyson Fury observing Cabal rituals? Time will tell. A week from now, we'll know what time it is, I believe. A week from now, we'll know is AJ and Fury official or not. Big facts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and your boy will be back.